Aloha, 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 aloha. This week I learned that aloha means love, means to breathe as one, and unconditional love. When the Maui fires happened, it was Lionsgate Portal, and it really wasn't until today that I realized that it actually happened on Lionsgate, because that is such a high frequency portal and I was in it. I really did not know what was going on the earth realm. And it wasn't until I think 2 or 3 days later that someone had told me, "Did you hear what happened in Maui?" And I absolutely didn't. And when she said it, I didn't even take it in that much. But I think the next day or a couple of days later, it was on the news. And the first thing that came to mind was that this had happened before in previous years, realizing that it was 2017 now. So there was this little deja vu feeling, and the similarities, even though I didn't have all of the details, there was a resemblance, an air of similarity, a repetitive cycle. I was observing a repetitive cycle. And then as my father watched the news, this gentleman came on and he started speaking about the migration of the people, of the original owners of the land, and the current population of Maui, and what that, was really like, and who was there, and the displacement of a lot of the people that live there. And I said to my dad, this is a very shamanic case to look at, case study, just looking at what happens with humanity and ancestors and land, and as the world turned, where we end up when the original ancestors are no longer there, and when the descendants of the original ancestors are no longer there to work on the land. So I just started to kind of observe and reflect and meditate on those aspects. And then I had a conversation with a friend, and she had given me her perspective and the historic tale of the lands and the displacement of the people, and also the current mood and the trending reactions and observations and perspectives. And I said to her, well, maybe it's all combined now, all aspects of it. Not just that the elements have spoken, but the ancestors have spoken, as well as the new investors have spoken. Man has acted. And it would be now for us to see what happens next. This is just that moment. Everybody has spoken, and everybody has acted. So Maui has been on my mind from a very shamanic perspective. And then I knew I had to look at it from a higher perspective as well as a shamanic perspective. Like, what are the energies that we're really looking at and being impacted by? And the elements started to speak to me: fire and water. Fire and water. And my cosmology is fire and water. So, and all of the pictures and images that I saw, it just was, all I could see is fire blazing and water swaying. Just as leaves sway in the air and within the wind, the waters were just, the waves, it just was swaying and moving. So it was this dance of water and fire. And I started to think of the people that were just in those moments of the fires burning, and how they must have felt the fear, the pain, the torture, the anger, just the trauma that they would have been going through in those long hours, not even moments, but really long hours. So when I looked at some of the stories, I realized that it had not happened overnight, but actually, in the day. And this is something that they had been dealing with throughout the day, and at night it took, I guess, it had its most impact at night, but it did start during the day. And I just really started to feel empathy and the pain and the fear and the trauma of those people caught in those fires and the smoke. And then I thought of those that made it to the water and the relief that the water would have represented for them. And I started to think of, again, the elements. And even that they were in the water, just the potency of water and the power of water and knowing what water does. So I started to think of the element of water and the essence of water and what it represents, the function of water. And I just put myself, there in that moment of people being afraid and hurt and sad and angry, but going into the water for refuge, and even those hours that they must have spent in the water, just all of the energy and the emotions and the density that would have entered the water at that moment. And then I started to see the bigger ritual in play. As water is the element that holds and carries, that all of the fear and the anger and the frustration would have been captured in the water, in that pristine, beautiful water of Maui. And now that those waters were now muddied with this dense energy received and released through the trauma and the pain of the people, and that these were the energies flowing through the waters of the lands, the rivers. And this is how the lower frequency takes over. This is how the lower frequency captures our energy, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. But as human beings, and the knowledge that we have of ourselves and the universe and energy and the waters and the elements, that we are in a new moment. And now we can rise up. We can join the waters. And we can use our energy and our hearts and our intelligence to raise the frequency, to help to cleanse the waters, and to bring back what might have been lost temporarily, which was peace and harmony and love. Within the blink of an eye, those elements were lost and they were replaced by a lower frequency, by lower frequencies. So I've written so much about Maui. I don't even know where to start really, but I just wanted to kind of like give that introduction because as I said, throughout the last couple of days, so much has come through me to look at this event as a ritual of fire and water. So I'm just going to read what I wrote because like I said, so much has come out of me or through me. Maui loves. And first I wrote many ancestors united in love. And then I remembered Aloha is love. So then I wrote Maui Aloha. Many ancestors united in Aloha. Then I wrote angelic ancestors united in Aloha. The waters beneath the earth. Maui to me is Lemuria. The ritual of fire and waters have taken place on the sacral chakra ley lines of the earth. On earth, a land and people of unconditional love, beauty, sacred sites, culture, of tradition beyond the calendars of time, still rich in her authenticity, individual identity, and historic potency. Maui Aloha, majestic ancestors united in love. I received anger, pain, betrayal. I received trauma, frustrations, and fear. I received shock, sadness, and greed. The fire burns, and we heard the cries, screams, and exhaltations of sound. Tortured with victimhood, this is not Maui's melody. From orange to turquoise, fire to water, water to earth, water to water, we are free. Ancient ancestors of a majestic history, speak through me. I am Maui, you see. All of you are a part of me. Each rock, each stone, each ripple, each moon. Fires burned to activate and renew. Make way for the rest to come through. Worry not about the fairs and fires. It's the water that holds what the catalyst desires. We are united in love and the waters. Return to the home of the inner garden. Find me in the depths of the royal seas. I'll be there, waving amongst the trees. You must swim to me. I'll greet you there. Give you a key to breathe in here. Take it with you and place it in the ground. Grow this seed to remain connected to all our lands. We are the messengers of the sea. Lemuria is a place close to thee.
Make your way and find your place. The job of a way shower is eternally and etherically sacred. You are here to raise the vibration no matter what comes. That is your salvation. It is well the chips have fell. Time marked a door, but didn't close the heart. We are Lemuria, the ladies of the sea. This land we can never be destroyed, for it is a part of the heart of we, these lands. What may come always finds a path to rise, like the ripple of each and everything dropped in the land. The waters ripple and become a wave that is surely destined to move way beyond the sands. Bring your hearts and your hands, we will fill them with what now demands. The fire has burnt, the waters have received. What comes next must be perfectly revealed, joined by fire, unified by the air. Returned to the inner waters, we are all near. We begin again from here. Do not worry about the fires. As the smoke clears, all will be seen, healed, and prepared. Work with the waters, we are still here. We ask you to bring your hands and hearts like waves. We will rise and fall, wash and cleanse, carry and hold, purify all that comes near. So that was what came out. And I was reading an article on 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 Hawaii and Maui in particular. And this is a healer that lives on the island, not authentic to the island, but he lives on the island. And he was describing Maui, and he said that that Hawaii. No, he was actually talking about Maui in particular. Yeah, that Maui, I'm not sure if it was Maui or the island, but let's say the island, because I wrote the island. So the island is a teacher, a guide, a healer. It represents change and transformation and awakening, and that that Maui in particular was looked at as a catalyst, and it is also the sacral chakra of the earth. It holds that sacral energy, the second chakra. It's on the ley lines of the second chakra. And the second chakra represents emotional well-being, creativity, sexuality, money, and powers of some sort. When our sacral chakras are not in balance or dysfunctional, we experience lack of peace, fear, doubts, confusion, disease, and we live in a reactionary way. It speaks to unresolved pain, sadness, loss, fear, and anger. And trauma stands in the way of us authentically embodying our true nature and living fully centered. It goes on to say that Maui is the heart of Hawaii. So, and that representing its loving nature, its peaceful nature. It has the highest frequency and vibration of love. It carries a high frequency of vibration of love and peace and nurturing. So when I absorbed all of that and thought about it, it was like, so we're really looking at our heart chakras, that relationship between our heart chakra and our sacral chakra, the womb and our heart, and individually, how we can individually step into this moment. Just as with Ukraine and the war and Russia, for me, my response was, where is there war in my body? And I would say, in this instance, where is there fire and water in your body? Where's your Lemuria? And where's your heart and where's your womb? And for us to really connect into ourselves, the waters that connect all of us, our soul waters, our divine feminine essence. So this is a timeline ritual of water and fire, in an effort to spread fairs through our bodies, through the waters, through people, through the dimensions and the planes. So we are being called back to our waters, called back to our heart, calling back to our deepest essence and the waters that connect us all. So we step back into these waters to cleanse and to purify and to restore and to connect, not to just the deepest part of ourselves, but to connect to each other and to connect really to the waters that run beneath the earth, the rivers, the original rivers of the land. And as we rise as the feminines, we will experience more of these rituals of water and fire. I even think of what happened in 2018 or 2019 here in the Bahamas, which could be that the other aspect of it where Atlantis, quote unquote, it was said to be the divine masculine energy, and the Andorian. Again, another water ritual, water and earth, this time water and fire. So we are being restored from separate hemispheres of the earth in different timelines, but almost the same but opposite energies. And what is our response as humanity? So with this ritual, we can release a lot of pain and anger was activated, but I think in the response, we can respond in a harmonious way. We can respond in a healing way, and we can respond in a way that helps to raise the frequency and restore Maui and its essence of being in harmony and balance with one another. So I think the call has been made, and we must all find a way within our own ways of being to raise the frequency from here to ground and to build up the new visions, the new earths with integrity, harmony, and love. We get a chance for the rebuilding up. And unfortunately, we know that now we are in this time of destruction for the rebuilding. And we might not all like what's happening or agree, or definitely some injustices might have taken place or are taking place. But the circle of life is complete. And sometimes we as cultures and people and humanity have to pass through these rituals of time and the elements. And it is done cohesively with man's participation and observation and response and reaction. So the story has not ended. The moment is still here. And the story of Maui will go on forever. And it's now each and everyone's opportunity to cast themselves in this story. And what is the role that you will play now? How do you step into your new avatar, your new archetype? Who are you now? Who are you now? We rise from here. One of my favorite new sayings was from 100, right? From the earth, we ground. From the soil, we rise. I think that's it, or the other way around. And I would add from the water, we cleanse. And we come into harmony. So let's do that now. Aloha.